What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Big update in the Karmelo Anthony case, as a judge has now issued a gag order as we kind of reach the slow doldrums between now and the trial, which won't be till next June. And I suspect, based on everything we're seeing, it may not even happen. I have a feeling they're going to offer him a plea deal, but I hope I'm wrong about that. Interesting stuff going on in the lawsuit against Karmelo Anthony's father and Charleston White, and so much more to talk about. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Beam. Absolutely amazing product. I want you guys to sleep better. In today's world, it's increasingly difficult for people to truly shut off and unwind from the nonstop news cycle and political noise to the pressures of work. Many find their minds are running constantly. That's where Beam comes in, this video sponsor. Millions struggle with restless nights, frequently waking up 2 to 3 times a night, racing thoughts. Instead of feeling rested, they spend their days feeling fatigued, only getting 5-6 hours of broken sleep. Seeking solutions for better sleep, some individuals have turned to Beam Dream, including myself, a sleep support supplement that comes recommended by peers and trusted sources. That's why over 93% of Dream users report better sleep. It helps with faster sleep onset, more restful nights, and mornings marked by greater clarity and energy. Plus, there's no grogginess, brain fog, experiencing real restorative sleep. What distinguishes Beam is this clean of evidence-based formula. It contains ingredients like magnesium, reishi, and so much more. Helps the bodies naturally kind of relax. The formula is sugar-free. It contains only 15 calories and boasts a track record of over 18 million nights of sleep improved. For those who face challenges with sleep or simply want to reclaim their energy, I recommend giving Beam a try. Use code QUARTERING for up to 35% off at the link in the description. It can make a world of difference for you. I think you should definitely give it a try. Now let's get into this gag order issued in Karmelo Anthony case. Anthony, 18, charged with the passing of Austin Metcalf at a Frisco ISD track meet. A gag order is typically issued in criminal cases to prevent parties in the case, such as lawyers or witnesses, from speaking about the case publicly. The terms of the order were not yet known as of Tuesday evening. Well, I've got more information on that. A protective order was also filed Tuesday. According to court records, the details of that order were also not known on Tuesday evening. So I don't know who the protective order is for, if it's for Karmelo, if they're going to claim he's getting threats, which I wouldn't necessarily believe, because at this point, it's pretty calm. I wonder if it's for one of the reporters, Sarah Fields, that sort of stuff. Hopefully we'll find out today. I'm out to them with a records request. Hopefully we'll see. Maybe I'll have that later today or tomorrow for you. Actually, I'm making a note to myself to follow up on that email. The Next Generation Action Network, which had previously spoken on behalf of the Anthony family, issued a statement Tuesday night urging the gag order be respected. While our organization is not party to the legal proceedings and has not been sworn into court, we fully support the underlying intent of the court's order to protect the integrity of this very sensitive and highly visible case. We understand the importance of respecting the judicial process, and we have maintained that commitment throughout, publicly stating at every press conference that we would not speak on legal or specifics or speculate on the defense. The filings come after Frisco ISD received a subpoena last week asking for the district to provide the court with a list of students who attended the April 2nd track meet where Austin Metcalf lost his life. Frisco ISD was asked to provide the full names, date of birth, addresses, parents' name, and contact information for all Memorial High School students who attended the meet, and district said sent an email to the parents. According to a Frisco police report, we already know what happened there. The case has garnered national attention. Both Metcalf and the Anthony families have been subject to harassment since Metcalf's passing. Anthony's parents said in the news conference that they have faced racial harassment and threats. They provided no evidence of that. He's set to stand trial in Frisco's 296th District Court on June 1st, 2026. Again, I don't believe he will ever stand trial. Now, this is from more local reporting, okay? The proposal for the protective order was submitted to Judge Roach yesterday, and today the judge signed off to protect Frisco ISD students and their parents from having their private information revealed to the public. I'm thrilled to have contributed to this effort. After all the challenges, this is a significant win. My exclusive post about the Frisco ISD and the email sent to the parents, which gave them almost no time to respond, was the first to highlight the issue, and it was. While it's a bit disappointing to see local news, CBS and WFAA, outlets report on this without crediting me as the journalist who exposed Frisco's ISD shortcomings, I'm trying to focus on the positive. The information is out there, and we achieved our goal. That's why I tell people, hey, follow Sarah is censored on X. She's doing a great job. The order will now seal all records of the students' information, and it will be restricted to attorney's eyes only, not even investigators or anyone else without the judge's permission. Now, what's interesting is we're gonna see if, the mainstream media actually respects this. I'm reminded of a time where some little old lady shared like a Trump meme and CNN showed up at her house and doxed her. Now, she wasn't under protective order, but we know that quote unquote journalists are not exactly the most reliable. Checking in on Karmelo Anthony's GoFundMe, he has received 0 donations today and only $55 this entire week. So those donations have absolutely dried up. He has not updated his backers who have given him $546,000 in over a month. I'm not surprised in the slightest. On top of that, yet another update. By the way, I appreciate everyone staying locked into this. Make sure you're leaving a like on the video. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe or follow. It helps the channel immensely. It's hard out there to break through with all the AI slop and everything out there. So I appreciate y'all tuning in and subscribing or following or whatever the platform might request. Just as I suspected would happen, misinformation is being spread about what this gag order means from Judge Roach. The judge presiding over the Karmelo Anthony case allowed me to clear things up. First, I'm happy to say that Judge Roach took time out of his busy schedule this afternoon to handle the matter. The prosecution and the defense were both in agreement. Frisco ISD has requested a copy of the orders sent to the parents to make them aware that their children's information will be protected. That's the big win, right? The order is specific to the kids' private information, and it will be available tomorrow, which we just saw. Thanks to the private attorney for making this happen. Activists have sparked fear in many parents over this matter, and their fears are being squashed. As far as the gag order goes, allow me to explain what this means after talking extensively with experts on the matter. The gag order is to prevent anyone involved in the case from talking about it publicly in ways that could bias the trial and make it unfair. Now, I would argue if you're, on the defense or if you're on the prosecution, you would probably want this to be the case. You don't want, the waters getting muddied by stuff getting leaked, especially before you have a jury, especially a year before you have a jury or 11 months. I don't know, jury selection will start probably in 10 months, but you don't want that. And so that's good. The order covers a bunch of people connected to the case called covered persons. This includes all parties in the trial, the prosecution, defense, and the defendant, meaning none of those people can talk about the trial. Witnesses, expert consultants, agents, and spokespeople, law enforcement personnel, courthouse or courthouse staff, and any officials appointed by the court. Basically, anyone officially involved cannot blab about certain things. What is not covered by this order, no one covered by this order is allowed to make extrajudicial statements outside the court through any public medium like TV, newspapers, radio, social media, or online posts. Specifically, they're banned from talking about the character, credibility, expected testimony, guilt or innocence of any party or witness, discussing evidence that may be introduced at trial, identifying or commenting on jurors, jury selection, public opinion, or potential jurors. Now, there are some exceptions. Things that are okay to communicate publicly are procedural matters, like announcing hearing schedules, court filings, or basic updates on the case's progress, statements that lawyers or others are required to make because of legal or ethical rules, for example, advising clients about their rights. The media, myself included, is not affected by this. Now, it is very curious. I think that kind of this gag order could be more lopsided to protecting Karmelo That said, I do 100% support protecting the students who may get called to trial. I still believe that there must be cell phone footage of this confrontation. I believe that there's probably cell phone footage of Karmelo Anthony taking Austin Metcalf's life, because that's what kids do. They film everything. The one case where maybe they didn't film it is if Karmelo Anthony, I'm just pure speculation here, if it had been premeditated and he just came like running up to him and everything happened so fast. But generally, kids are recording stuff. And this goes on to say, the media can still submit open records requests for public court records related to the case through the court system or the district clerk's office. The gag order in this document restricts covered persons, such as parties, attorneys, witnesses, law enforcement, court staff, from making certain statements publicly. However, it does not seal the case or broadly prohibit access to existing public records, such as court filings, hearing schedules, or procedural documents. Again, this means that we can still report on everything in this case. Somebody like Dominique Alexander, who's basically disappeared from this case, he cannot, be doing any part because he is a spokesman for Karmelo Anthony. You'll see, and after the trial ends, we'll discover later that one of the covered persons talked extensively about prohibited subjects and nothing will happen. Yeah, I mean, probably. It's going to be interesting to see, by the way, her lawsuit, I think it's Give, Send, Go / Sarah Fields. This is to sue Karmelo Anthony's dad and Charleston White to expose whether or not they took Give, Send, Go money and used that to hire Charleston White to smear people who are reporting on it. Now, I do think it's awfully telling that the minute this lawsuit became a reality, Charleston White has not said a single word about Karmelo Anthony. I'm guessing that this lawsuit is going to expose that they are in fact related. She's just like $5,000 short of her gold. So if you want to support her, you can check that out. She's doing a lot of the heavy lifting on this case. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.